Got no words, bro. That's annoying. Can you guys tell people in the chat that the thing closed out on me? So weird. Can you tell people in the chat thing closed out? My sister's signed in. I'll do it myself. It's not even allowing me to do anything in the chat. All right, whatever. Yeah, if you guys could let them know, I'd appreciate it. All right. I don't remember what I was talking about, so we're just gonna keep reading. That's crazy how you know what's crazy? How this cuts off even with me having like Wi-Fi and not my own like data. It just cut off out of nowhere. Yep. I'm still live right now. I had to make another one, but it just literally cut off out of nowhere. So weird. Yeah, so weird. Like interesting how that keeps happening to me particularly. But whatever. Had nothing to do with no internet, no nothing. It was just literally like, the YouTube app. Like, what the hell? Anyway, we're just gonna keep reading. Then merely open the phone book. Place your hand on one of the pages with the many names and numbers, and just feel your way to a specific name and number, and you'll know the feeling. Then, for the fun of it, call that person. All right, what the hell are they talking about? So I guess, all right, let me just skip because this is just weird. Um, you know what? Let me read it. Let me read it. This is weird, but I just want to do something like this. But when they answer the phone, uh, merely say, "I'm not here to sell you anything. I just need about 15 seconds of your time. I know you've never met me, but I was just sitting in my chair remembering that the truth is true always. And I'm calling to remind you that you were loved by God. You've never failed. You've never done anything wrong. You remain pure and innocent even now. I just wanted to give my blessing to you. Have a nice day. Goodbye." See, I do not agree with this. And the reason why I don't is because I don't want a blessing from people who I don't know. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I don't want a blessing from people who I don't know what so-called God you're following or worshiping or things of that sort. So I don't think I want that type of blessing. And I don't know if other people will want that from me. But that's just my I guess you could say cynical viewpoint. But I just find it annoying. Like, it doesn't really matter what, because okay, so like the so-called Christians, they say that all the time. They say, "Oh, you're loved. You're loved. God is all love," and they live like a complete hypocrite. Like, I don't want your opinions, whether they're right or wrong. You know. But anyway, I get that's what I mean. Like, I don't agree with everything in this book. Welcome back. Yeah, I don't know, man. This thing just, it's like it does this almost every time I live stream. But I'm in this book, bro. The Way of Mastery. It's in my PDF library if you want it. I would not suggest necessarily buying it. You can, but It's free. Anyway, for you see, the world in which you live has but one purpose. It is the same purpose that all dimensions of creation have, to be the extension of the Father's love. That I definitely do agree with. For that is what creation is. Then, yeah, this is the neighborhood I live in, bro. And then to extend that love from the world, from that dimension. Each and every one of you has but one treasure, only one treasure. It is not your child. It is not your spouse. It is not the new car in the garage. Your treasure is your reality as the unlimited, holy, and only begotten child of God. You are a field of consciousness through which the Father would extend himself. You are your treasure, and you have to teach other people the same thing. This is what parents need to teach their children, that they are loved and they must love themselves, right? That's what you have to teach them. And you show them that action by pretty much giving your 100% to them, giving your all to them, or giving your all to your husband, giving your all to your wife. And they can see this. They can see this behavior. Because how are you going to say that someone is loved and not treat them as if they're loved? You understand? How are you going to do that? You don't seem like you practice what you preach. If you truly see something as a gift, right? If you see something as a gift, you're going to treat it as a gift, right? I see you guys as not my gift, but a gift, right? You are your own gift. This ability to live life is a gift. The ability to be tested, to be remolded and refined, it's a beautiful thing, because through this process, you will have the ability to be back with the Father, where we cannot imagine the type of happiness that we would be in that sort of realm, right? But if I'm not acting like it, then I sound like a hypocrite. And the same thing goes with your children. You can't tell your children I love you and then not be patient with them. It's contradictory. And they pick up on this. They know this. They just can't articulate it because they're children. So we all must practice what we preach with our actions. This means that if this is your only treasure, your greatest joy will be discovered as you cultivate within yourself the habits of mind, the habits of body, the habits of choice that begin to align what you think, what you see, and what you do with the truth that is true always. Your joy will be found as you recognize that you exist to extend your treasure. And as you do so, you immediately add to your Father's treasure, whose only will is to extend that which he is, forever, unbounded, unlimited, and God is but love. So your joy is found when you work on yourself, because that's what the Father wants out of you. He wants to pretty much view what, because he doesn't even really know what you could become. He kind of just gives you gifts and he said, all right, let me see how far they can go. And he wants to be impressed by the individuality that he is also given you, right? He's viewing you in that way. He's like, it's like the same satisfaction that we get from seeing a small child grow into, a prime adult, right? It's the same thing. Everyone loves that type of story. Everyone loves the coming of age story, right? Everyone loves that, and that includes our creator. He loves that too, and that's what he wants to see out of you. He wants to see you become your best self. The ability the ability to just wake up another day is definitely beautiful to me, especially all the journey I've been through so far. It's a beautiful thing, because when you view life from a whole perspective, like, it's just like, wow, and I'm actually like here. It's like it's like incredible, you know? It's like, how am I here? I was literally like in a crib somewhere, I was in a whole different land, a whole different mindset. I'm a totally different person than I was a few months ago, let alone a year ago. In fact, I'm a different person than I was a week ago. Life is a beautiful journey where you discover so many things and you discover so many things about yourself. Life is the journey of discovering yourself. That is the treasure. Your treasure lies within the journey of discovering yourself and the potential that you have. That's the true journey, and that's the true gift of life. That's what the Father wants you to do, is to figure out what your true potential is. He wants you to dig within yourself and bring out the treasure that He has put in you. It's a beautiful thing, man. Like, it's just like, whoa, like, this is crazy. Everybody, every single person, man. Now, the grand thing about love is this: it does not require any set of conditions to exist before it does. Now, how is this different than some of the things you experience in life? Rest assured that as a body, there are certain conditions that must exist before the body can be satiated with food or water. You see that? Man, oh my, I did not read this, guys. I didn't read this before. And I remember what I just said about, like, you know, you can't make the root chakra as your base. The heart chakra has to be your base. Um, so let me read that again. Rest assured that as a body, there are certain conditions that must exist before the body can be satiated with food or water. There must be certain conditions that are met before the body stops shivering against the cold. Your world is based on a topsy-turvy perception. That is an interesting word, by way topsy-turvy. Oh, okay. Is based on perception that conditions must be met, before there can be a choice for peace instead of war, for forgiveness instead of judgment, for love instead of fear. And when the condition outside of me change, then I'll make the choice for love. Man, this literally just said what I didn't read this, guys. I only read like the first couple of pages and I was just like, yo, this might be good. This is saying exactly what I was saying before. Your choice of life has to come from the inside. It has to be based on something that's eternal. Your willingness to return back to the Father, it should be an eternal yearning. Because even after this life, life doesn't end. Life moves on. Even if you are able to get out of the so-called reincarnation cycle, there are still different worlds to explore that He wants you to go to, different heavens, quote unquote, to explore. So this doesn't end here. The full goal is to get back to the Father. That is an infinite goal, right? Borderline infinite, because I don't know if it's literally infinite or not, but it's a long time. It's a long time. This is just one experience. This little 70 years that we live on this earth is just one measly experience. The bigger picture is much more massive and grand and full of potential that He would love to see unlocked. He has given you unlimited potential. And it's not just this life. Use it. Shalom, brother and family. Hope all is well on your side of the map. Of course, bro. Of course. Everything will always be well, bro. Because this is an eternal thing. It's eternal. No matter what's happening to me physically, you know, I mean, it's an experience, bro. That's all I have to see it as. But I'm good anyway. I'm good. I have often said that the world is merely the reflection of the insane choice to deny love and to be devoted to fear. The world is diametrically opposed to the truth of the kingdom. The world is the opposite of reality. It truly is. They pretty much trick us that living in fear, living in scarcity is reality. Reality is about scarcity. It's about being finite. That's not actual reality. Reality is about bringing the infinite down onto the finite so that there is no finite. But when you have a group of people that have pretty much taken over the whole world, and are running the world, they have changed this into this reality of, everything is finite. How do you have so many different you have so much land that is unused, so many trees that have been burned down, so many people living in the same small area? There is more land for people to live on than there needs to be. Everything is abundant, everything is full of life. We don't need to live in this way, but this is the reality that they have set up. They want you to live in fear. And this is just not the world that Wakan has made. This is the matrix that they have put on the whole world pretty much. The way of transformation then rests on the complete reversal of the thought system you have learned in the world. But that thought system is not merely the practice of new ideas, repeated as nauseum in the mind. That reversal of thought must permeate the entire field of the body mind, which is nothing more than the field of your consciousness, so that you know that change has occurred. So that when you are in any set of circumstances that once seemed to elect judgment, or fear, or anger, or hurt, or sadness, that you recognize, my goodness, my whole body feels different. I just feel like being loving. I feel totally safe. What's the big deal here? Oh, I remember when these kinds of circumstances would have elected sadness or hurt or fear or anger. And now I just think it's a beautiful place to be. This is 100% me, bro. What the hell? Because here I can extend the love of Christ. Wow, what a joy, what a treasure. Thank God I have this moment in which I can be the blessing that blesses this world. This right here, man, good stuff, bro. Good stuff. When you can get to the point where everything can be physically taken from you and you're just as okay as if you had everything physically, you've reached that point, bro. If something like I don't know, like if I get robbed for everything, I'm just like, okay, well, dang, that's just what happened pretty much, right? Obviously, I'm not going to want to get robbed. I'm not going to willingly put myself in that position. But if that's what happens after I've avoided it, then it is what it is. Like it's just life, bro. It's just life. Everything is life. It is what it is. You know. So your physical circumstances should not dictate your feelings. Should not dictate your mental state, because those are two different things. Yes, you take care of your physical circumstance, you protect it, but if something does happen to it, then there's no reason to pretty much beat yourself up over it. There's no reason to have that affect your emotional state. Your emotional state should always be in high vibration, because your emotional state is based um on your standing with the most high, with the higher realm. They tricked us into the cages. Well said. While they freely have roamed, but no more. We babes, the Most High God's Queen, Big Mama, children, and we back. Of course, of course, of course. They have tricked us into the cages, because you can't like this stuff is really a choice. It really, really is a choice. It's a choice. We don't have to live like this. I know it sounds crazy, because this is our physical reality and we have to physically take care of ourselves. But trust me, when you take that leap of faith, something will catch you. Something will catch you. It doesn't seem like that, but something will catch you. So you're not ever judged based on um your physical responsibility. You're judged based on your uh spiritual responsibility, right? That's what you're judged on. So you just try your best in life. You try your best and you love the Father. You love the Father for life, because nothing lasts forever and everything changes. Everything has a changing point. You just have to worry about your spiritual relationship with the heavens. Nothing else really, really matters as much as that matters. The physical stuff matters, but that stuff, it matters because it's coming from the base. If you have a strong base, you can't be moved. You can't. When people put their base, again, when people put their base on possessions, that's when they start selling themselves for those possessions. They start, quote unquote, selling their soul, as they call it. And that's not necessary. So, beloved friends, the use of time is pivotal. The use of time determines at all levels what you experience in your tomorrows. Long after the body ceases to be the teaching and learning device that you are most attracted to, long after the body dies, you will indeed be continually stepping into your tomorrows. For you are the sunbeam sent forth from the sun, from the mind of God, and that light never stops traveling. Let's put it that way, to use a spatial term. You will never cease to create. You will never cease to experience. The only choice you ever have is this: I will assume responsibility for doing whatever I must do to eradicate every misconception, every misperception, every obstacle to the presence of love, every limited belief I have ever learned about anyone or anything, especially about myself. When will I choose to assume responsibility for cultivating that perfect remembrance that I and my Father are one, and that I perceive the real world, the reality that shines through everything, that is present in the very material that makes up for the chair in which you are sitting, that literally pervades the thing that you call the body, that you think is so dense and hard? Or perhaps, if you have not been exercising, it is also a little soft. What are these weird, jokes that this person's throwing in? The point is, there is nothing that you see that is not pervaded by the perfect radiance of God's holy presence. Nothing. The stone, the leaf, a piece of paper blown by the wind, even the shoutings of fear and anger from anyone, yet contains within it, if you would receive it, the perfect love of God. For your Father does not ever recoil or withdraw from the unlimited and perfect extension of himself, and God is but love. So yes, even that's why it says in the book of remembrance that even when you're doing something wrong, like, because Matza's spirit, he is within all of us. When you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing, he doesn't feel like anger. He doesn't feel like, well, how could you do that? He feels anxiety. He's just like, oh my gosh, like, you're doing this to yourself. Stop, right? But he's not feeling like, oh, I'm going to take this away. He can never take it away. He can't. He's just going to keep making you more and more responsible to clean it. If you made a mess, he's not going to take away your house. He's just going to pretty much give you more and more things to be responsible for, so that you'll finally clean the house. It's your responsibility. It will never be anyone else's. He's not taking it back. You have to clean it and then bring it back to him. It's a loan, and he will make you hold on to that loan, pretty much. And if you did not abide wholly in that love in this moment, you would immediately cease to exist. I don't just mean die, I mean literally cease to exist. There will be no trace of thought or memory in any mind of you. It is only because love is, whoa, it is only because love is that you are. That was written so weird. This is why I once said, of myself I can do nothing, but my Father, through me, does these things. Did I not say, I learned these of my Father, and now I will be the maker and doer. I acknowledge my complete helplessness, my complete dependency. Wow, do you see that? I acknowledged my complete helplessness, my complete dependency. So that's how we have to think of life. We are helpless and we are dependent upon the Father. We have to live through faith. We can't have faith in our possessions We can't have faith in what we perceive as love. We can't have faith, all right, well, if the other gender doesn't love me, then I don't have any worth. If I don't feel like I'm in control, I don't have any worth. Those all are not true, pretty much. Those are all not true. You have to be fully dependent on the spiritual realm for everything, for your spiritual and physical, right? I eradicated any perception that I was a self separate from God. I stopped giving authority to any tiny little gnat shouting at the vastness of space. My will be done. As you sit in the chair, then in this moment, hopefully with your transformation journal in your lap and the pen that you have purchased for this purpose, remember this: you are wholly dependent at all times on the pervasive reality of love, which has given you existence out of its desire to extend its treasure, joy. This is the reality of who you are in this moment. You are as the wave that has arisen from the ocean of God's perfect and holy love. You could not for a moment be cut off from it. Yes, tomorrow things will change. Yes, there will be a point where the body breaks down and dies. Yes, there will be a moment in which all that you see before you will there no longer be. For all things that arise in time end in time. That's the way it is. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. That's just the way it is. And yet, you are free to cultivate the ability to perceive the real world, to see, to know, to feel, to taste, to be, to extend that which is real. And only love meets that definition. Let me see how much I have to read. I don't feel like reading all this. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't feel like reading all this. Let me see. So I pretty much have like proved my point. Because now they're just talking about different exercises and things of that sort. So I'm gonna stop there for the reading. Just wanted to do a quick live stream, give you that message. Hopefully that will help anybody, you know, get back on their path. Let me see. It's also hot as hell. I want to go outside. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on the earth, where moth and rust consume, and where thieves break in and steal. I mean, it's true, you know. Not necessarily anything wrong with having the treasures, but the treasures have to come from the source above, right? Does that make sense? Because if it came from him or it came from, the heavens, the higher realms, then you know that you can trust it, right? But if you're pretty much seeking these things, like you're making your life about it, then you know it could be taken away from you, and then you'll be all in distraught, and other people also will hunt you for it. If the Most High gives you it, no one's gonna take it away from you, right? Because it came from Him. So that's why it makes a lot more sense to seek after your own spiritual growth, your own spiritual uh, foundation in everything. Make love your foundation, not resources. And when you do that, everything that comes out from that love will be pure and right. But if you're doing things out of, you know, the glory of possessions, your whole life mission is to lay things up for yourself. I mean, I don't know, bro. You're kind of asking people to come in and take things from you. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consume, and thieves do not break in and steal. Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. What scripture is that? I forgot. But that's exactly right. That's exactly right. You put your treasures in heaven, and then if your treasures come from the heavens, then they're yours. Then they're holy treasures, right? They're holy treasures. You want to lay up holy treasures for yourself and then wait for those holy treasures to come down on this earth. That's why I said, when you do things in the spiritual, they'll come down on the physical. That's just naturally how it works. So that's what our life mission should really be about. It should be about storing our riches in the heavens and waiting for them to come down on the earth, right? So thank you for that scripture, sister. And that's pretty much all I had, guys. Again, just wanted to do that real quick. I'll stay on for a few minutes if you guys have anything you want to talk about. Spiritual investment. You can see it that way, yeah. Exactly. It's a spiritual investment. And that's the only real investment. This is why the New Jerusalem is built in the heavens and it comes down on the earth, right? You want the Father to give you riches. Because it's the only riches that matter. Like, everything else doesn't matter. If you want to live a life of luxury, then give to Him. Give to Him and He'll pay you. You can't tell Him when He's going to pay you. You just have to be okay with it. Okay with living whatever life you're living, right? But focus on that. That's what actually matters. The love inside of you. Bringing out that love and spreading it through the whole world. That's what actually matters. And love also entails love for yourself. When you do that, everything else will fall into place. Make your spiritual investments, and they'll come back. And again, the thing about spiritual investments, like the brother said, when they come back, they stay. They're eternal. Exactly. And anything that's eternal is the only thing that matters. Things that are finite don't matter. So that's why it doesn't make sense for anyone to make decisions on things that are finite. Doesn't make any sense. You have the opportunity to work on something that's eternal, to invest in something that's eternal. If I were to cut you the deal and said that, all right, if you pretty much do this favor for me, I'll pretty much give you $1 every day for the rest of eternity. Not for the rest of your life, the rest of eternity. The only thing is that you don't know when it's going to come. Would you not take that deal? It only makes sense to take that deal. But everyone else, they're taking finite deals. They're taking deals that are more like immediate, things that they can see, that they can touch, they can feel. And, they're bad deals. They're really bad deals. Scripture is Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 and through 20. Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 through 21. Thank you. Thank you. A spiritual investment will never run out, but physical things eventually pass away. Exactly. Store up your riches in heaven. That should be your focus, right? And use your time in that way. That's the only thing that matters. The evil people, they don't want people using their time in such a way, because one, they will no longer have power over them. When you are pretty much focusing on your wealth, your possessions, and things of that sort, making that into your God, making that into your idol, then they have control over you. They can influence you, right? You give them power. When you make the Father your landlord, you give him the power, and then he gives it back to you. It's crazy that you pay the landlord, right, rent money, and then he gives you the rent money times 10 at an appointed time. And people are choosing other options, Even heaven and earth will pass away, but our investment in the Most High is forever and ever. Hallelujah. Exactly. I'm glad that, people understand this concept very well already. Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about regarding time and things of that sort. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. If you guys have anything else you want to discuss, I know I got out of here, really fast last time before someone could finish typing. So I'll wait like 30 more seconds. Thanks for spending this time with us, brother. No problem, no problem, no problem. So that's it, guys. I'll see you next time. Next time. May peace be with you.